Hi, Carol here. Warm welcome back to my craft room where we're going to make the box for my card that I did in the previous video. Now this card measures out 5.5 by 7. So I lay out on the cardstock that I have, the thick cardstock. Remember I put the Cricut Premium roll on top of my 140-pound cardstock. So I laid this out and I end up with, I need 1 inch on every side. So you're going to add 2 inches to your card base. But what I needed to have a little bit more room because I'm putting tissue paper and all that in there. So I ended up with the card box 8 by 6 and then the top of the box 8 1/4 by 6 1/4. I'm sorry, 1/8. So that would be 8 1/8 by 6 1/8, and that 1/8 just gives me some wiggle room to put it over top of the bottom box so it's not too tight because of the tissue paper being in there. I hope that made sense to you, but while you're watching you'll kind of get the gist of it, and I wanted to have this up. So my original box here is 8 by 10. I just added 1/8 to each one of them so for the top box, and then I'm able to have the 1 inch all the way around when we go to score it. Now I made quite a large card base when I did the card, right? I did my 16 by 22, I think that card stock is. Then I rolled out the Cricut Premium roll over top. That's why you have this gorgeous, gorgeous gold design in the actual on top of the 140-pound cardstock, obviously. So here we go. We're going to measure it, then we're going to get our emboss. Just have your embossing folder, not your embossing folder, excuse me. Just have your scoreboard ready. The large 12 by 12 one is what I used. And we're going to cut it off so that the bottom of the box is a little smaller than the top that will go over it. And so that's what I'm doing here. The one thing I did change up is the bottom of the box is just the 140-pound cardstock. And I did decorate with the paper pack that I used for the card, but the lid that's going onto this box is going to be with the Cricut Premium roll that I had used. So here's my Stampin' Up. Haven't used this for a while. I love the Stampin' Up score tool, this one, because it has a tilt to it. It has a slant. And the actual scoring tool fits in at the bottom there into a little slot so you don't lose it. And then the top portion opens up that you can put a ruler, pencils, whatever you want. And I was glad that I bought this years ago and it was in my stash. And here we go. So 1 inch all the way around this is the bottom of the box now, 8 by 10. Okay, so I'm drawing and you can tell when I go to score this or fold it how thick the cardstock is. It is 140 pound, and I get this at Beatty's and stationery. And the stationery stores, the reason why it's so thick is they make business cards and that out of this cardstock. So I'm able to get whatever size I want them to cut it to and get a couple of 100 sheets of it at a time. So that's great. So here we have it. We're going to fold it on the bottom, and then I'm going to miter the edges in. Now I'm going to miter it a little different because I don't want much cardstock when I go to actually glue it. So you're going to see I miter just a little bit differently on this. You can take off whatever you want. You just want to take a little bit off when you do go to glue it. Otherwise, you're going to have that bulge in it. You don't want that. So I go in, and then I make the fold, and then I cut it approximately at the other fold. I'll show you what I'm doing here. So I go there, then I get around to the other side, the complete other side of it, and I do the same thing, cutting on the score lines, and then I begin the mitering. I find sometimes if you're taking the box in like this, the top of it will just need a little bit. Now see how I went corner to corner on the miter? I just cut it off, and then I'm going to take some off the top because that's where you actually have that scoring mark on the bottom, which raises it up a tad. And if you've made boxes, for sure you're going to understand what I'm talking about here. And then I'm going to have my liquid glue ready. Here we go. I'm just going to miter it here and fold it in, and there we have it. See how I just take it corner to corner? Then you're going to have to put some little clips on it for a little bit for it to dry. It can be clothes pegs, clips. I found these clips at the dollar store where nothing's a dollar, and years ago, and they are tight, like really, really. You put them on your finger, you can just really feel them, how tight they are. And here's the paper pack that I used, that I got at Michael's some time back for, I don't know, $6 something a roll, for the package right here, for all of the paper pack. That's what you call it, a paper pack. So I thought I would change it up a little bit of the color, go into the cranberry instead of the navy. It's from the same paper pack, so it does have the same gold leaves in there. It sticks to the same flowers, like a few of the flowers, which is nice. And this is going to be for the bottom of the actual box. I'm going to put the paper on the bottom. So you're going to, I find it safer to just take a pencil or a marker and make a tick mark than to measure it. I'm always off when I measure it. But when I do the little tick mark, it works out all the time for me. So I kind of stuck to that kind of game plan. And then I can always, pull it in if I'm off a bit. Then I take my Copic marker, the gray, and I think it is the W9 that I use with the Copic marker, and I go around the edges because I don't want it to be white. So here you can see I was off a little bit when I measured, and that's not bad. And you want to keep it inside your score mark. That's what I do. Here's my gray. Instead of going the deep black, I just do a gray. And like I said, it's the W9, this marker. But whatever you want to do it in, if you want to find a matching, burgundy color. Let me just see. Oh, is that W9 or was that a C? I don't know. It could be the C9. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, watch what I do, because I think it's one thing and then it's not, because I put everything away, so I'm kind of guessing at it. So let's get the Xyron out. I'm going to run that paper through. I find it so much easier to do it this way, to have the glue on, and then if I want, I can add liquid glue to the bottom, and it's secure, it's not going to buckle, and we're going to have a nice colorful box for our card. Now, I'm super excited. May I say this, if Mary, your husband, is watching my tutorial, you told me he watched the card and he really liked it. Now, I know you're going to surprise him with this, but I want to gift it to you. I want to do a random act of kindness, so I will send you and your husband this card and box, because you said he was now a fan of my channel. And I don't get that very often, I do, where the husband and wife sit together to watch my so-called movies. You could do it as a movie night, because most of my tutorials are 4 to 8 sides of the card. So they take me a while, probably an hour and a half for one of my tutorials. So what a blessing that is, to have the fam join in and watch them. Thank you so much, Mary. And thank you for joining in to your husband. So here we go. We've got the miter. We need to now get the glue. Put it on there. Just bend it over and have your little clips ready. I'll do the 2 at the same time. And I tell you what, when I used to make boxes, my friend Tina, I used to probably drive her crazy. I just couldn't grab the concept of the measurements, How much do I add? Like, how much do I need when you have the card extra if you're going to put tissue or whatever? She'd always get me, Tina, now I don't mean to ask you for the 100th 1,000th time, but you could explain it. Could you explain it to me again? And now once it's clicked in the old brain, I've got it. I don't need to have to bother my friend. I got it figured out. You just need to add, you know, an inch to each side. And yeah, I'm not going to try to explain it again because I'll say it all wrong. And these are the clips I get at the dollar store when nothing's a dollar. They are fabulous clips. They're so tight. You know, sometimes you get a clip and they'll fall off. Not these. The metal part just pinches right perfectly. It has a perfect pinch. Then set it aside for just a little bit and then move on. I'm going to have pink tissue in there. I have to make sure it's, you know, right on. You know, the clips are right on the paper where I want them. There's my card. Then I figure I have the ribbon. I want to put a bit of tissue in there. So it all worked out. And I was super happy that I didn't have to make it over again. It seemed to be right. And when you lay your card out on top of your cardstock, you'll basically get it without having to worry about perfect measurements. Now we're going to move on to the Cricut foil. The Cricut roll. This is the premium plastic. It's almost like a plastic over top of my cardstock. I just love it. This is on the inside of my card, right? Remember when I did this 8-sided card, we have this exact paper in Cricut roll on there. So now, yeah, you have to be careful how you miter, that you take the right edges off. So you go in on the fold, go over to the corner, and then cut erroneous, and you've got it. Look at that. Then go to the other side, cut it on the inside. You can do one at a time. I find that safer. As you get more experience, I guess you can just go crazy and do it, you know, all the way around, but I haven't hit that point. And there you have it. That's what it should look like. Now this is super thick, remember? We have a 140-pound plus premium roll of the Cricut. Gorgeous gold. I don't even know what you call that Cricut roll. It's premium something or other. So we're going to take the top off a little bit, right? You don't want to see the white. I'm just making sure it's all white. And generally it's not. I have to trim just a tad off of the mitered part on each one. There we go. You'll see me doing it here. Always do a pre-run before you put that old glue down. I do. You know what I'm like. Man alive, I get those skizzers in my hand and I've got mistakes coming out left and right. So I'm always watching what I'm doing. Now, my friend from Georgia, Gail, sent me these. They're Anna Griffin bows, all different styles of bows. And when you look at them like this, when you die cut it, doesn't it look weird? But all you do is fold back those 4 edges. You have the beautiful tail already done, and then you have the wrapper that wraps around it. It's gorgeous. Then I went back to my stash. This is the Anna Griffin die that I used on my card that you can see to the left. See that it's the same die. We're going to die cut that right into the Cricut roll and the 140-pound paper that we have. This is going to be the top of the box. That's why if you're going to die cut, don't glue the mitered edges yet. You want to be all ready to die cut the box lid. So this is what I did. I just eyeballed it into place here because you have your magnet mat, right? This is, I cut into the magnet mat of the Anna Griffin cutter thing. And I'm getting some, come on, cut for me. Yeah. Dollar store where nothing's a dollar. That's where I got this wax paper. I'm going to put the wax paper down and then cut onto the wax paper so I don't have to cut it again, because that's a nightmare if you're doing it into a box, because it will either shift or do something crazy on you. So you want to make sure you have some kind of a shim. I don't need it because it is super thick. Like, I've got a lot of thickness going on here. So I'm just bending back the wax paper just so I can see that it's on there reasonably straight. Then we're going to run it through the Empress die cutting machine, and it is going to cut all the way through. You can see I did put a shim, a paper shim on there because I don't want to miss a thing here. And this is the bottom of the box, so I'm making sure that when I cut this, I can feel it, that I've got the die centered well. Now, you're not going to see, the method I'm using here, you're not going to see through the die, so you don't have to worry about it. Here I have my Empress on top of my Lazy Susan, so I don't have to get up off the island chair. I just turn that Lazy Susan around, take my die cutting mat, my acrylic plates and my die cutter, and turn it around and take it out. Now watch this. This is how I love making a box lid when you have something super thick as I do here. So you're going to take it off. It's going to come right off. It's going to cut around the edges. I'm not sure if I had to put the edge thing on after, if that's why I'm sitting here contemplating. Oh, I'm making sure it cuts. Yes, I put the bubble wrap too. So I have that bubble wrap. I'm running it through the Empress so that that goes right down into the layers that I have there. The 140-pound cardstock and the Cricut roll on top of that. So here we go. We're going to lift it up and it's going to pop right out. Yes, that's all we need. Now, you don't want that. Let me just say this. All you needed was pressure to get the outside cut. You don't want to cut the intricacy on the inside of your die here. You don't want to see through it. This is exactly how I wanted it to look. I didn't want any parts coming out of those tiny little edges, which they're not. It is secure, so we're doing well right here. And then we're going to add paper to the back. So let's get off our gorgeous, and you can keep that wax paper for another project. You're just going to take a few of the guts out of the die around the edges, place it back in if that's the look you want. I don't want any of it out. So I'm doing it like this. I'm going to take and measure another piece of paper out of that paper pack. And it's going to go on the inside. I'm going to use my Xyron, and my Xyron tape is going to hold this into place. Okay? So you'll understand it when I turn it around. So that is going to go back on. There are no little parts taken out of that die cut. You don't want to put too many shims on it so that it takes out the little gut pieces. You want those to stay in. You want this impression. You just want this total impression on the lid to match your card. And I'll show you what I mean. Let's get out that We Are Memory Keepers vacuum. It'll suck the rings off your fingers, my friends, if you don't have good tight rings on. This is one sucking vacuum machine for your craft room. You're going to love it. It's affordable. It's charged by a cord that's already in the lid to your computer, and I couldn't be without it. I'm actually thinking of getting another one to have a spare because I just do. That's how affordable they are. I can't remember, but I know they are affordable. So here we go. That's the bottom of the box, right? Okay. Here's the top of the box that we put the Cricut roll of premium, whatever it is, on top. Now, I'll try to think of it. My brain's just not handling. Look at this paper. Isn't that gorgeous? There we go. We're doing the same. It's a cranberry, but the same pattern as the navy in this pack. This is going to be holding that die cut for the top. It is going to be an indented die cut on the top of the lid, and you'll see what I mean. See how it only cut, which is really good. You don't want to be messing around with trying to get those little teensy pieces out of the Intricate die. You can, but I find this look much nicer for a lid of a box. So I put the little tick marks. We are going to settle that right then and there, get the Xyron machine out so it'll hold and this is the upper portion of the box lid, right? It's so pretty, isn't it? It's so crazy pretty. I took my C8 or C9 there. You can use a W, whatever you like, to do the outside of it. And, you know, it's for the inside of the box, so really you could leave it white. It's all white. We run it through. I always take my bone folder and rub it along, so right there, see? Just so I know all the stickiness is on the card base. We'll take it off, and then you can use liquid on here, but what I do, I want to hold this in place. So take your hand, hold your die, and I'll tell you what it's going to do. It's going to push it. Not only keep it there, but you're going to have this ledge all the way around it that's going to be like a deep, it's going to sit down on the box lid. I'm trying to show you here just a tad. It's going to move down. Then we're going to get our bone folder and go around and tighten that up. Just crease it. Just make a nice heavy, you know, push down on that crease. Then we're going to add some glue. The top lid paper is holding that die cut. That's why it's so important to have good glue, like the Xyron, or if you have the tape, you know, 6-inch runner, double-sided tape, that's good. Just something that you can keep that die cut on the lid in place. That's all you need, my friends, is to keep that in place. Then get your tight little pinchies. Put your glue on there, just like that, easy peasy, and you're going to love the look of this die cut. It's like an inlay die cut, where the pieces parts aren't taken out, but it just settles itself as an inlay and pushes itself down. I'm just trying to show you how nice that looks. Look at that. And you can see that white little ledge from the white cardstock behind the gold Cricut roll. And I find it beauteous. It matches that card. You can see the card right there, the die we used. I will put a little bit of glue going around it so it doesn't curl. That's what I'm doing here. And I think it is just beauteous. Then we're going to match somehow. We're going to, I don't know, so that the lid has its own character. I don't want it to look the same as the card. I want the lid top to have its own character and to have a deboss in the sense it's sitting down in, so you can see the white card base when you turn it over. It's just drying with my little pinchy metal thingies. And I'm waiting on that, and I'm super excited to show you this. Now, here we go. I haven't used this yet. I bought this before Christmas. It is the Foliage Anna Griffin Die set. I am in love with this. I couldn't wait to crack it open and use it. It's so scrumptious, isn't it? Just if I have it there for you to see, I'm making sure I move them so they dry properly. So that's what I'm doing there. Then I'll set that aside. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, yeah, I must have stared at that for minutes to hours. Yes. You can see I haven't taken off the oh, I'm holding it up so you can see it. By Anna Griffin, Foliage Dies. You can just stop it there so you can get it. I am trying to leave the links. I haven't got over to my blog yet, but I will work on that for you. So here we go. This is the 3 die. This is a new die set from Anna Griffin. It's the 3 intricate dies. She says that they're the most intricate dies she has. She just came out with them at Christmas time. So you're going to love it. Love it. Because of 3 dies, super intricate, super beautiful. And somehow it just matches these foliage leaves. And you can see it's never been opened. I'm just opening it for the first time. I fold back so that the sticky doesn't bother me. I'm taking it out and look at that goodness. Look at the foliage on these leaves. Some of them even, look, you could use them as feathers, couldn't you? Like that middle upper one there. yeah, there's just, I love the way Anna has the sheet in there to give you some inspiration on how to design with her products. Just gorgeous. So let's get out my gold foil. Oh yeah. We're going to put this bow together. I had the rose gold out and I had the gold and I mixed it up. I put the rose gold as the bow and then I put the leaves in the flat gold. You'll see here I'm using the hot Anna Griffin glue gun, which has that super long detailed tip on it. I'll leave that link so you can check that out. I love a super long detailed metal tip on my glue guns. Super affordable as well. I mean, this is the day for affordability, isn't it? And you have 4 bow places to turn back. It's a double bow, and look at the gorgeousness. And then on the top it has this long strand that you fold over your actual bow, and then you will have the lovely, 2 ends hanging down. And isn't that pretty? There you have it, my friends. I'm trying to do a close-up on that box if I can, but we're going to work. If I don't do it now, of course I'll do it later and in the pictures. But I wanted to not do the same color gold on the box lid as the actual gold that's there. I wanted to mix up all the different tones of gold. And now this is the Anna Griffin gold cardstock. I always have to check and make sure that it's just one layer. It is that thick. And this is some of the metallic as well. But I wanted to use a flat, more, I'm not sure if this is the rose gold or the plain gold. But there you have the lid, my friends. Isn't that gorgeous? And then we're going to work with cutting out the foliage. So I'm just checking to see how they look together. There's the inside. I'm making sure once again that the die cut that we put on the outside is seating itself nicely, and it really is. So you just want to put some muscles to that and you will be fine. Then I'll take the dies and we're going to use the heavy duty gold cardstock from Anna Griffin. And like I've said before Christmas, let me just jump in there. Excuse me for being all over the place. But remember, I just bought up a lot of Anna Griffin supplies. One, I bought the Create 6 boxes. They're 2 gigantic boxes that have so many different styles of cardstock and dies galore. It was amazing to get that. And then they had a big sale if you joined along with Create 6 that you could get 50% off of products. So that's when I bought this, because I don't buy anything unless I can get it on sale. I put my bubble wrap on the top to push down into the die cuts. And you want to have something over top of, let me just share this with you, because I cut into the die, I'm cutting into the die here, I don't have to worry about the foil because it's going to be the backs of the leaves, right? You're seeing the backs, they're upside down. So I put that on there. Now I'm putting them away, and I will transfer the actual paper on top of each one of these dies that I did, so I can see the die and what style leaf it gave me separately on each one. Then from here, I will pick it out to put it on to the box lid. And isn't this, I know you get tired of me saying it's beauteous and gorgeous and scrumptious, but it is all those things, isn't it? It is. I'm just so thankful that I'm able to work with these products, that I'm able to purchase them and enjoy them. And even when I went on my 3-month stash where I didn't buy anything, you don't suffer, right? Because if you've been crafting over a year, you have enough in your stash, my friends, I'm sure of it. Because we get overzealous when we first begin this crafting thing called making cards, and we just order. We're watching something, I gotta have it, and you're saving up for it, and yada yada. And then what happens is it gets tucked away. It's sleeping somewhere in your craft room, because we end up buying more things, so that those products don't get used like they should, and everything seems to be, pushed to the side. And I just told myself that's not going to happen. I am going to take another time during the summer, and I'm going to do another 3-month no buy. So I'm just making a little list of a few things that I do need, and I'm going to show you this little crafting. I bought some stuff, not much. I think the total only came to $85, but I had ordered it, and I'm super glad that I got it, and I'm going to share it with you after I'm done here. And look at the foliage. Look at those leaves. Just amazing. I only made one of each too. Now, if you're going to, say, do something where you want to have just one shaped leaf and you die cut 10 of them and use that, that's pretty awesome also. But you have such a variation of foliage in this die set. And if you wait until they go on sale, because Anna does have sales on her site, and I think it is one of those necessities to have in your craft room is foliage, right? We just use it up so much. Now here's the lid. You can see the different gold. Here's the bow. So you have 3 different gold colors. Excuse me, and excuse me, I'm getting tired of talking. Sorry. And I hope you're not getting tired of listening though, but I'm almost finished. So I lay it out, and yeah, there must have been something ringing there, so I apologize for that. Now, I wanted to make a point of using different golds. Remember I said that earlier on? So I'm going to take my bow stash here from Gail. Thank you so much, Gail. And my birthday's coming up next month, so I'm going to possibly get these bow dies. I didn't see them on the site, so I have to do a search for that, because I just think they're wonderful. They're 3 different style of bows. So in the bow dies, so we shall see. But I'm using my hot glue gun to put it down. Because the cardstock is so thick, my friends, the glue gun really works well. You don't have to hold it down for so long as you do the liquid gold, right? So I changed it up. I had the flat gold bow on there, as you can see. Oh no, it's the shiny metallic gold, because the leaves are the flat gold. And I really like that bright rose gold. So I made one of those. And I'm going to put that on there, so that the gold from the cricket foil and the gold, it's like a flat, I don't know, it's shiny, it's metallic. I just don't know what color you would say that is. Then I'm doing the sitiating. I'm going to put the bow on the upper left here. Isn't that pretty? I'm using my hot glue gun, my Anna Griffin hot glue gun, with that long detailed end. And then I have the word in the, to match the card, I did it in the metallic teal, that blue teal. So I'm going to put blessing on the bottom there. So I die cut another blessing. The B is separate, and then you have essing, so lessing, excuse me. So B, and then the die cut Lessing, S, blessings, and the font is lovely, isn't it? And then remember I bought at the that ring here. I think it's a planter ring to put around a planter, and they had them at the dollar store where nothing's a dollar, with the burgundy, and it has pearls on there, glass beads. It is filled with goodness on the end of all of these wires that are wrapped around. Oh, it's a candle ring. It's a candle ring. So I picked up about 10 or 20 of them. I don't know. You know, they're $1.25 each, and look at the goodness you get to pick off of one of those candle rings from there. I love it. I've been using this for years, these rings. I just absolutely love it. And I decided to go with that burgundy. See the burgundy glass teardrops? I went with that because it's a change up from the navy. I did another teal blue butterfly. I have so many bees in this, literally, in this video. I'm getting all mixed up. So let's see. I did not use the pink. It has the ghosting die to put behind the blessings, but I didn't use it. The pink and the purple just didn't do it for me, so I left it out. I did a lot of dangling pearls. It has the matching, they're like a long teardrop. It has 8 to 10 little bling blings right there. I think I'm right there. Just do a close-up on those long danglies from off of that candle ring cluster that you get. Look for those. They are at the Dollar Tree or Dollar Store or wherever you have. I see them all the time. For $1.25 and you get all that bling, it's crazy. Just crazy. So as you can see, I did seat all of it to see what it looked like first before I do the gluing. I don't glue down because if I want to move it, it will take the paper with it. So I decided to lay it out first, get the layout. If it's pleasing to my eye, I take it off a little by a little bit by a little bit, and glue it back on. And you have that wire that's holding all of this bling bling, and you can twist it and make it smaller, cut it off, whatever. I chose the actual foliage I wanted to use, and look how nice all these golds pair up. You wouldn't think it would because they're so off the wall different in color, but I think it's gorgeous. Not because I created it. I think it's gorgeous because each of these dies are unique. Anybody can do this. Anybody can put this together. It is easy, it is fun, and it's beautiful to look at. So I'm going to get my blue metallic, that blue teal blessings. I'm going to put it on the bottom there. I'm going to add different leaves on there just to give it some, you know, bling bling. And I want you to look at the beadwork in this. When I put the pictures up, I have to take the pictures after I do the voiceover here. I just wanted to quickly get this done. Look at the beads on this candle ring. I think you're going to take a glance at your Dollar Tree on these candle rings, I think they call them. So here we go. I have 2 clusters of leaves. I have the butterfly in the metallic teal gray. And there you have it, my friends. We did the back. Get your beadwork out there. I put that little butterfly on there as well. You can't overdo it with leaves too. May I mention this because you want that die to stand out. You want that intricate die that matches your card to just pop off the box lid. I'm going to put this down with my wonderful intricate glue sheets there, right there. And I'm going to leave the link for that because this is a must-have if you do a lot of sentiments and a lot of intricate dies as well. Thank you for joining me. As always, you know I'm very grateful. You have yourself a blessed week. And if there's any questions that you have, don't hesitate to ask me. I'll get back to you. And it may not be right away, but I make notes if somebody asks me a question trying to get back to it. I haven't got onto my blog yet to put this on my blog. I will get to that, of course. It just takes me some time sometimes after you get the edit and the voiceover and find the links and all that stuff that you do. Oh, isn't that butterfly is so intricate. That's an Anna Griffin butterfly, by the way. This was a die set you got if you bought the Empress machine. I think it was the mini, and you received that as a gift. The butterfly, it had, oh yeah, it had a sentiment, it had a die, it was gorgeous. So anywho, I'm interested to see if you like all of the golds on the box, and if you like the change up. Now, in the card, you can see it has the same gold foil leaves, right? One in the navy and one in the loganberry purple color there. And then I just went right to the deep purple in the beadwork. So I'm interested in hearing your thoughts about how this was put together. I really am. And so I'll await your comments, and I really do appreciate hearing, if I can change anything up, or, what you thought of it. So here's my tissue paper. I'm changing this tissue paper to white, by the way. I just had some open pink, so I wanted to put that in there, but I wanted to add white, so there wasn't a whole lot of color in this project, especially when you open it up, because I have enough color going on. So anyway, I will see you on the next tutorial. You have yourself a blessed day, the rest of it, and I'm going to go take some screenshots and get this loaded up to YouTube. Take care.